Hello, everyone, and welcome to another town hall on Futures for Frontliners. And this is, again, just a way that we're reaching out to the communities around the state to talk about this program and to offer a set of information, but also highlight some of the key partners in the communities that are helping to make this program a success. So with that, this is our town hall for the Saginaw, Flint, Bay line with Jean Goodnow as the president of Detroit Community College. Also Mary Murphy with the Bay Arneck Intermediate School District, Chris Rishko, director of the Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works Office, and Colleen Markle with Mid Michigan Health. We will, at the conclusion of the presentations today, handle and if you could type those questions into your chat box, we will handle those as they come in at the conclusion of the presentations. So with that, let's get into just a brief overview of the Futures for Frontliners program. So let's go to the first slide. So what is this all about? You may have heard in the first State of the State by Governor Gretchen Whitmer, she talked about an initiative 60 by 30, raising the educational attainment to 60% by 2030. Now, this does a multitude of things outside of offering a pathway to continue an education. We know that it helps close the skills gap for in-demand or high-demand jobs in every area of the state. And this is something that's critical to the business community as we prepare our workforce for these high-demand jobs and for jobs that sometimes go unfilled from year to year. Also, at the end of the day, we want to higher paychecks and putting money in people's pockets. We know the data is incredibly clear. The higher the educational attainment rate is, the higher paychecks are. And those jobs are also, excuse me as I get tongue-tied this afternoon, also often recession-proof jobs. So this is incredibly important outside of providing and diversifying equitable opportunities for our communities. And last, this is one of my favorite things to talk about as a competitive person. We need to do what we can to position for inclusive economic growth. And this is, again, going to be having long-lasting effects on our economy and as we compete for the jobs of the future. So looking forward, let's take it to the next slide. What is Futures for Frontliners? It's simply, it's a state of Michigan scholarship. This is one way that we're paying not only our respect, but a piece of gratitude for those frontline workers, those essential workers that put themselves in harm's way during the height of the COVID-19 epidemic. And we want to offer these essential infrastructure workers without a high school diploma or post-secondary degree an opportunity to continue their education. This provides a tuition-free access to Michigan's public community colleges and to earn an associate degree or industry recognized certificate. Next slide. Pathways to community college and high school diploma completion. There are two paths. On the Future for Frontliners program. Path one, as we refer to it, is frontliners who have a high school diploma or equivalent, and they're looking forward to obtain additional training through obtaining an industry recognized certificate or an associate's degree. So that is what we consider path 1. Path 2 are for frontliners who need to complete their high school diploma. We are working very closely and coordinating through adult education providers around the state. To give you an estimate of the population across Michigan that this program of folks that could qualify, we're looking at 625,000 folks that were in essential industries that could either qualify for path 1 or path 2. Next slide. We've tried to make the process for applying to be a Future for Frontliner scholarship applicant as easy as possible. If you go to Michigan.gov/frontliners, that is where you can not only get a whole set of additional information, but this is where you can apply. We need everyone that is interested in this program, that wants to move forward with their educational pathway, to apply for this program by December 31st. And the other piece is we look forward and need you to enroll in classes during the next calendar year. So that's 2021. Next slide. Here's a brief applicant update. 69,160 applications to date. It's actually, we just got our morning numbers earlier today, and we're actually about 200, less than 200 applicants shy of 70,000. There is a huge demand out there and desire to continue on a pathway to obtain additional skills in education. So we are absolutely thrilled how this program has been received. Some additional information in terms of some of the demographics that we're seeing. We have 70% women that are applying and 29.5% men. For path 1, you'll see about 60%, 8% Black, 5% Latinx, and 1% Asian. And then for path 2, we see about 43% white and 41% Black, as well as 6% Latinx and 1% Asian. And it may be a little small on your screen, but we also have county breakdowns of where we're seeing those applications come in. So obviously Genesee and Saginaw, those are the biggest amounts of applications that we're seeing, with some of the outlying counties with smaller application pools of 100 to 200. So again, I'm really hoping that my internet access is holding still and steady through this presentation. There's always some technical challenges here, but with that, let's see, I think the next slide. All right, we're ready to segue. This is going to be much more exciting than my brief overview, okay? We're going to kick it over to the president of Delta Community College, Jean Goodnow.
Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Jean Goodnow, president of Delta College, and I'm so pleased to be with you today to discuss how the futures for frontliners can be accessed at Delta College. Next slide, please. We're proud to be part of this last dollar scholarship program for Michigan residents. This program will provide tuition-free access to frontline workers in essential industries. You'll be able to earn a 2-year associate degree or Pell-eligible certificate. There are eligibility requirements and a process to go through, and all of those details are on the Delta College website with the address listed at the bottom of this slide. So let's go to the next slide, getting started. I'm not going to go through this slide totally, but all of the information is on this slide that you need, and it's available on our public website. But you'll see number 4, if you zero in on number 4 right now, it includes information on how to connect with a local advisor to ask your specific questions. You need to make an appointment. Connect with a frontline advisor. Next slide, please. At Delta College, we work really hard to educate workers and partner with local businesses to provide a skilled and ready workforce. While 65% of high-demand, high-wage jobs in Michigan's future will require at least an associate's degree, 65% of citizens in our district haven't yet reached that level of education. So if you fall into that category and you are an essential employee, you're eligible. Delta provides the education for these types of jobs, especially in the skilled trades area. Now you see on this slide welding, but it also includes areas like chemical processing, automotive, computer numerical control, residential construction, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Let me give you an example of how this might fit into your life. Let's say you're a city or county worker who mows lawns in the summer and plows snow in the winter, who has some college credit. You could return and complete your degree. Next slide, please. We offer training and careers that can be obtained with a 2-year degree. Now, on this slide, you see a list of quite a few of our very popular health programs, and they all lead to really immediate jobs. There's jobs out there in this area in all of these different health program areas. So here's another example for you. Maybe you're a food service worker at one of our local hospitals who does not have a college degree. You could take advantage of this program to work on your education to become a registered nurse or a respiratory therapist or a surgical tech. Next slide, please. If potential students were essential workers, they are likely still working. So it's important to keep in mind that we can build schedules that will fit around your work hours. Delta College offers day, evening, weekend, hybrid, and online course scheduling options. So we have something to fit your schedule if you're working right now. Next slide, please. Students at Delta College range from recent high school graduates taking dual enrollment classes to older students returning to college to enhance their work skills. Everyone, I mean everyone, will feel welcome when they come to Delta College. So what are some other examples of how this could work and who could be impacted by this program? Let's say a police patrol officer with a certificate from the police academy. You could return and pursue a degree in law enforcement. A child care worker without a degree could start at Delta College on his or her way to become an elementary school teacher. Or even a grocery clerk who's currently taking classes at Delta College but has one more semester before finishing an associate degree could take advantage of this program. So if you're working at Kroger's or Myers or whatever, and you're a frontline worker, you could take advantage of this. So in summary, folks, this is a great opportunity for many Michiganders. So I encourage you to go to our website and apply. And remember, apply before December 31st, so get your application in right away. And that completes my last slide. I look forward to seeing you at Delta College.
Thank you, Dr. Goodnow. Now I want to turn over to Mary Murphy.
Hey, thank you. I'm Mary Murphy, and I am an Adult Ed Career Navigator and the Fiscal Agent Representative for the Adult Ed programs in Region 5. I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to talk today about adult education. The awesome thing about the Futures for Frontiers for Frontliners program is that it includes a pathway to community college for frontline workers, even if they haven't completed their high school diploma or GED yet. I heard about Futures for Frontliners during the COVID shutdown when it was just being talked about in one of the governor's COVID briefings. And I was working from home, and I knew many of my students were working as essential workers on the front line. I was so excited, I contacted everyone right from home to tell them about this amazing opportunity that may become available for them. Now that this is a reality, our adult ed programs in our region are still contacting and informing past, current, and potential students of this amazing opportunity. In fact, I just heard from one of my former GED completers that they had their application approved and will be attending Delta College. So it's so great to see the dollars going to the people who need it and deserve it. So I hope everyone out there who is deserving of this will apply. Prosperity Region 5 consists of 8 counties located in the middle of the state, just to the west of the thumb. These are Clare, Gladwin, Aranac, Bay, Isabella, Midland, Gratiot, and Saginaw counties. We have 7 different adult education providers and have 25 different locations throughout the region. The services that we provide in these counties are adult basic skills, which is remediation in math and reading if you're below college level. High school completion, which is you work on completing your high school diploma. High school equivalency, whether it's a GED or another approved credential. And English as a second language. Not all providers offer all the programs, but participants are enrolled within the region to the program that best fits their needs. One example is one program that we have in our region just does high school diploma and has a streamlined curriculum and lots of support. Other programs might refer to that program for students who really have their heart set on getting their diploma as opposed to a GED, but have a lot of classes to go and need that extra support. So one thing within our region is we're going to send you where you need to go, where we know it's going to help you be most successful. One of the other major things adult ed programs do is to help students figure out whether they should do a GED or diploma. Most times when students come in, they're not sure what their best route would be or how to go about it. All our programs send out for transcripts and look at the student's career goal and the time frame they may want to work in and their academic skills. And one thing that students don't usually know is they can get their GED, and then if they do want to come back and still get their high school diploma later, they can still do that and it's free. So we work with every student to figure out what is the best they should do right now, whether it's a diploma or GED. We also have a great community literacy center that's located in Midland that offers both in-person and online tutoring. And we do have a special programs grant at the Career Center in Bay City, where adult education students can also get free career training while they work on their diploma or GED. All our adult ed programs offer open entry and exit throughout the year, so you don't have to wait for semester time. You can enroll anytime during the year and exit when you're done with your credential. Classes are offered both during the day and in the evenings, and we offer flexible scheduling options in order to accommodate work, childcare, and transportation concerns. Students move through adult ed programs at their own pace and complete their credential as quickly as they choose to do it. All of our local programs provide several different ways to participate depending on the student need. We have in-person and online options, and our students are able to construct a schedule that fits their life circumstances. Thanks to COVID, a phrase we probably don't use too often these days, immediately upon enrolling, all our programs now provide students with whatever they need to work remotely. So whether that's laptops, hotspots, parking lot Wi-Fi, where you can pull into the parking lot and have Wi-Fi so you can work, for books and workbooks. Real-time teacher support is available several hours a day for those students who choose to work virtually. Also, many of our programs have career navigators who help students build a career plan and navigate beyond their diploma or GED and transition into post-secondary or further training or employment. working with Michigan Works, Delta College, and other resources. This career app navigator can also provide help filling out FAFSAs, applying to college, or connecting them with college admission reps and local employers if they're in the job market right now. We also have several GED testing sites in our region that are operated by our adult ed providers. Delta College also has a GED testing site. For many students, the advantage of having GED testing right on site at an adult ed provider is that they get rid of that test anxiety because they're going to take the test the same place they study for it. Another bonus is for testing where you prep at is adult ed providers won't let you take a test until you're ready to pass it. So that's a good thing, ensures success. Other supports that adult ed programs regionally offer help with transportation, whether that be gas cards or bus tickets. And adult ed programs have many connections in the community and work with other agencies to connect students with other needed support, such as childcare, car repairs, counseling, etc. When you walk into any adult ed center, you can be assured that they will do everything they can to help you be successful in navigating a great career pathway. To find an adult education program near you, go to www.Michigan.gov/frontliners and select the high school completion option. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Now, I would like to kick it over to Chris Rishko, the director of the Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works Agency. Chris, take it away.
Thank you very much for having Michigan Works be part of this presentation. Michigan Works is proud to partner with the state of Michigan for the Future for Frontliners program. If you would, please forward to slide 18. Michigan Works for the region, for the Flint and the Saginaw areas will actually be covered under two main regions. It's the GST Michigan Works, who I am joined with Ms. Jody Kerbison. She is the Chief Executive Officer, and they oversee Genesee, Shiawassee, and the Thumb. And then our region, Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works, is Bay, Gratiot, Isabella, and Saginaw County. Slide, please. Michigan Works is really going to be contributing to helping eligible program participants to meet their career goals, and we're going to do that through two main areas. We are going to make sure that the individuals, slide please, are informed as to the most current careers and career pathways that are available in our region, and they're also going to be provided the supportive services specifically intended to remove barriers so that they can achieve those goals. Slide please. Michigan Works Career Services, we provide a large laundry list of services under our network. That ranges from access to career and resource centers with staff and tools to job boards featuring the most current postings across the Pure Michigan Talent Connect system, as well as job, career, and self-assessment tools, resources and workshops for resume and cover letter writing, information on local and statewide labor market, as well as the directories of human service agencies and information to help connect participants with the supportive services and referrals they need. And then finally, information on financial aid, occupational training, and other workplace accommodations. These are all what Michigan Works provides on a daily basis, and we'll be able to provide for those eligible participants. Slide, please. Across the region, with COVID, believe it or not, there are still a huge demand for talent in both the GST and the Great Lakes Bay regions. On this slide that that's being displayed, there are some big areas that there's a high need for our region, with a wage that will provide participants with a living wage. Will actually provide that the funds that are needed to really get to the next level in their career goals. They range from heavy tractor trailer truck drivers to electricians, plumbers and pipe fitters, dental assistants, CNC machine tool programmers, industry machinery mechanics, dental hygienists, physical therapy assistants, electrical power line installers and repairers, and respiratory therapists. And as Dr. Goodnow spoke about earlier, these programs that she spoke about that Delta College offers, for example, this is the kind of wage that individuals can expect to see from those careers, and that is here in our region. Slide, please. If you have any more information about Michigan Works or how getting access to Michigan Works opportunities, visit either one of our service centers. We are closed right now, but you're more than welcome to call or visit us online. Jody's region, GST Michigan Works, and the Great Lakes Bay region is Michiganworks.com, and we will have our staff standing by to hopefully connect you with the services that will help you to succeed in the future Frontliners. That's all I have. I thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And again, for all the work that you do in connecting folks looking for positions and employers in the region. And I think that we have one more speaker next, which is again, an important reflection of there are jobs of today that are in demand that we have to develop the skill sets to fill them. So with that, Colleen Markle with the health organization. Colleen.
Thank you. As the rest of the speakers have said, thank you for inviting me to be part of the panel. My name is Colleen Markle. I work for Mid-Michigan Health. We have roughly 8,000 employees and contracted employees across our organization. Our organization consists of hospitals in Clara, Gladwin, Gratiot, Midland, and West Branch and Alpena now. And so we have a wide geographical area across the state of Michigan, which is great. I want to just touch base first on the skills gap that was mentioned earlier and throughout the slides for everyone. As a representative from the industry, and I am a nurse here at the hospital and have been here for many years, but I now work in human resources. And we have several hundred open positions across our system because there is a skills gap. You know, the healthcare arena can be a highly academic one, meaning many of the employees here have degrees that are associate all the way to postdoctorate. And so it is a highly academic center. Healthcare is complicated and requires highly trained individuals. But I do say, and I don't want to negate the fact that if you have a high school diploma, we also have jobs here at our medical centers for that as well. Like I said, we have several hundred open positions from housekeepers and dietary help all the way up to physicians and researchers with doctorate degrees. We have many people here with dual degrees in clinical as well as an MBA or some type of business degree. But I would encourage those out there, and I think it's been loud and clear, that you need to take advantage of this opportunity. If you don't have your GED or high school diploma, to pursue that. But I would work with your community colleges to get advising. Delta College is a great resource to meet with an advisor, talk about what your goals are, a way to meet those goals. And this opportunity is so amazing because tuition and the cost of tuition tends to be one of the barriers for people going back to school. It's besides time, right? We're all very busy individuals raising our families and working or whatever we need to do. But financial barriers is a real thing. And so this opportunity alleviates that in a way that we've never had before. And so, Mike, would you mind putting up, I have for you, it's called our hard to recruit positions. And I have those bolded for those of you that are watching this, those that have associate degrees. And I want to back up and just say our hard to recruit positions are positions that are in high demand. We have openings for them. And our hard to recruit positions are probably not any different or much different than all of the area hospitals, right? Whether you're in Flint, Bay City, Midland, Saginaw, all of us have hard to recruit positions that we need to fill. And I would assume most of them look the same. But in looking at the list, a first assistant, that's a surgical first assistant that Dr. Goodnow talked about, an LPN, although we don't have LPNs in our acute care setting in the medical center, we do have them in many of our offices. A lab technician. So if you're interested in working in the lab, you have a passion for biology, this may be a great opportunity for you. A registered nurse is an associate degree, although many of the medical centers are advocating for a bachelor's degree, but you can certainly get a job at an associate degree, whether you want to work the inpatient setting or you want to work an outpatient type setting or a clinic setting like an office. And do remember that when you're hired into one of the medical centers, all of us offer some type of tuition reimbursement assistance. So this is one of the other reasons to take advantage and get your associate degree and then pursue a career in whatever your passion is. I'm telling you, for those of, and I talk with students all the time, for those of you that have a passion for caring for people in their time of need, there's a job for you in healthcare. And you can make a difference, and it's very rewarding. If you wanted to become a nurse, get your associate degree, and then get hired someplace where they can help you and assist you with tuition reimbursement so that you can pursue a higher degree in nursing or whatever the next step is for you. You know, and Dr. Goodnow is an expert in healthcare as well with all the programs that they offer. In all of our careers, it's lifelong learning, right? And so just because you start out with associate degree or a high school diploma, many times that is not your end point. And if you work for an employer, such as one of the medical centers in the area, you will have assistance. It's a benefit to you as being an employee for that medical center. The last one on the list is the surgical technologist. So the first assist and surgical technologist are interesting careers. If you're a person that likes the operating room, finds that interesting, it is a very interesting place to work, I must say. In my opinion, there's nothing more interesting than the human body. I know a lot of people think something else, but it really is quite interesting. And of course, working in the operating room, you do get to see the inside of your patient's bodies, all the internal organs. It is. So if that is a passion of yours, I employ you to pursue that. I just want to end by saying, I want everyone to give careful thought to what it is that interests you. What do you have a passion for? If it is healthcare, think about one of these bolded positions that I have on the list. Like I said, most of the medical centers will probably have somewhat the same, maybe a little bit different depending on region, but these careers that are listed here are long-standing. You earn great benefits. You earn a high wage. You are around professional people all day. You make a difference in patients' lives and their families. So you have a huge impact. And so I employ you, reach out to your community college, fill out the application for future frontliners, and start pursuing something that you have a passion for. If you have any questions for me, there will be my contact information at the end of this presentation. I would be happy to talk with anyone about their passion for healthcare. I coach a lot of students, I coach a lot of employees about what their next step is going to be, and I'd be happy to talk with you. Thanks, everyone.
And thank you, Colleen. That was really wonderful information. And that's the thing that we want to raise up and lift up, that there are jobs today that are available. And I think your advice on connecting to a passion is just such an important one. And two, why we're all here, that there are pathways to get you the skills you need to get to these high-paying, recession-proof jobs. So with that's the formal program. Now we get into the questions, and we want to hear from you so we can make this as helpful as possible, offering our speakers for a few minutes here. So if there are any questions that are in our chat box, I encourage you to post them there, and then we start looking at those.
All right, we have a few that have come in. The first one, Carrie asks, what is the required GPA to maintain, and what happens if I fail a class? Do I have to pay the money back?
Interesting. I want to introduce one of my teammates because, you know, none of this happens alone. So I want to bring in Ava Atari, who can take a portion of that question. But for the Futures for Frontliner program, a 2.0 GPA is the requirement to maintain the program status. But Ava, do you have the answer handy on what happens if you fail a class?
Yeah, so happy to answer that. Hi, everyone. There are a couple of requirements that you need to meet to maintain your scholarship award once you have it. One of those is that you have to maintain the satisfactory academic progress of the community college you'll be attending. So that's the first step. So if you, for some reason, are not able to meet your school's, it's called a SAP, the Satisfactory Academic Progress, then you'll need to at least be able to maintain that 2.0 GPA that Carrie was talking about in the courses that you're taking towards your certificate or associate degree program as a future scholarship student. So first you have to meet your SAP. If you're unable to do that, then you can at least have to meet the 2.0 GPA. If you don't meet the 2.0 GPA, if you are not able to maintain the scholarship, you don't have to pay the money back. So just so you know, there's no sort of punishment for that or punitive action for that.
All right, and the next question we have says, can I take classes during the summer at Delta under Futures for Frontliners while I am still enrolled at SVSU working on my business degree?
Ava, why don't you take that one too?
Sure. So for Futures for Frontliners, you have to be enrolled at the community college and working towards your certificate or associate degree program in order for Futures for Frontliners to cover your courses. If your main school is the university and you're taking some courses at the community college as a guest student or as part of a consortium agreement, Futures for Frontliners unfortunately cannot be applied. But you know, I don't think that even if Futures for Frontliners can't cover you, there aren't other opportunities for you. Jean, are there some, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
It may be possible to work with our financial aid, depending on what the financial aid status of the particular student is. And also, if they haven't received their associate degree yet, and they've been a student at Delta, then it may be that they could do a reverse transfer and take those classes back at, you know, at Delta until they get their associate's degree. And then that would, as Ava, you were just saying, I believe, then they could be covered by the Frontliner program. So I think the best thing would be to come in and talk with an academic advisor about what is going to be most beneficial for that particular student if they've been a frontliner.
Excellent. All right, and the next question asks, you mentioned the program is for eligible programs at community colleges. What if I found a non-credit certificate program I want to participate in that is provided at a regional university?
Yeah, so, oh, sorry, Carrie, if you wanted to answer that.
Go ahead.
Apologies.
Ava. You're the program director on this one, so it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be enrolled at the community college and working towards your certificate or associate degree program in order for Futures for Frontliners to cover your courses. So even if it's a non-credit certificate program at a regional university, unfortunately, Futures for Frontliners won't be applied in that situation.
All right, and this question is from Paula. Paula asks, will this cover me through the nursing program, or does it just cover the prerequisites?
Jean, do you have?
I think it would cover. You would get started with your prerequisites, of course, but then you would go all the way to the RN degree, which would be to the associate degree. So it's a great way to get started. If you don't have the prerequisites, you get started with the prerequisites, get those out of the way, and then be admitted into the nursing program.
All right, and do I have to declare a major or certificate program at the time of application, or can I apply now and decide later what major I want to do?
Yeah, so I think it depends on whether you're talking about applying for the scholarship program or if you're talking about applying to the community college. So for Futures for Frontliners, the application process, we do ask some questions about, what community college do you plan to attend? What semester do you plan to attend? But it's not part of the eligibility requirement. So you can answer not sure, and that's okay. So we don't require you to declare any sort of major or certificate program with us. You just have to be able to get your application in by December 31st. But I'll let Jean handle the other part of the question.
I thank you, Ava. That's excellent. And I'm a former counselor myself back in the day, but also Chris from the director of the Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works talked about some wonderful things that they do with career advising, and we do a similar kind of a thing with at the Delta College with our career advising. And so it's an opportunity if you're not really sure, and I think Colleen talked about that too. If you're not really sure exactly which career you want to go into because you haven't been exposed to it, then it's a great opportunity to start taking. There's always some very basic classes that you need to get out of the way, and they're like English and math, and those are pretty much required just about for almost all programs in one way or another. So there's usually a few classes that you can get started in, and anyway, it's very possible for them to just take 6 hours, just take part-time, especially while they're working full-time. This is a great way to kind of get your feet wet a little bit at a time, and then work with a counselor or an advisor on your career inventory and find out what's going to best be a fit for you for the career to go into, where you can be successful and where you'll feel really good about working in that field. And you can learn about a lot of different fields too. You can learn about respiratory therapy and, do I want to be looking down somebody's mouth and putting something down their mouth? Or, am I going to be able to manage looking at giving somebody a shot or something like that? Some of these things we don't think about until we get into the nitty-gritty of examining that particular career. At the same time, there might be some things like in the pharmacy tech area that might be of interest, or in the agricultural area, or in the CNC area that you hadn't thought about before that would be a great career area for you to get into. So again, I think taking a couple of courses and talking with a counselor and advisor, going through a career inventory, answering some of those questions, and making that decision that's going to be best for you is the way to go.
I'd also this is Colleen Markle, I'd also like to tack on to what Dr. Goodnow was saying. Here at really at any hospital, I think it's good for our audience to realize if working directly with patients and maybe, I don't know, some of the bodily fluids, like, Dr. Goodnow was mentioning working in dentistry, or maybe that's not for you, but I do want to remind everyone that all of the major medical centers have IT personnel. They have marketing, they have maintenance, electricians, plumbers. So even if you don't have a passion for caring for people directly, but maybe you like the healthcare setting and what we do here, but you don't want to actively participate at the bedside, there are many careers. Cybersecurity is a huge one right now in which you can pursue and still work at the medical center and earn high wages. I think that's sometimes forgotten when people talk about healthcare.
All right, thanks for that addition, Kelly. The next question is from Jeremy, and Jeremy asks, for students who are on the high school completion pathway, when do they have to complete their GED if they wish to also pursue their associate degree at a community college afterwards using the Futures for Frontliners funding?
Do we have Erica Luce on?
I sure am. Good afternoon, everybody. This is a great question. Thank you, Jeremy, for that. And I just want to make sure, that everyone is clear. For those that do not have a high school diploma or equivalency, the Futures for Frontliners Path 2 does allow them to obtain their diploma or GED and go on to a community college or job training program. And as Ava had mentioned previously, for maintaining eligibility, those requirements are in place for Path 2 as well, and individuals have up to 4 years from when they enroll in adult education to complete either their associate's degree or that job training program. And I also want to point out that Path 2 does allow flexibility for those students that may want to work on their high school diploma or GED and be duly enrolled at the community college, or they can complete those programs sequentially. So complete their GED or high school diploma and then go into a community college or job training program. So we want to make sure that we have that flexibility for students so that you can do whatever works best for your schedule.
Perfect. And will participants need to register or qualify for MWA programs, WIOA, PATH, etc., to get assistance, or do they qualify once approved for the Futures for Frontliners program?
So this could be a tag team response between Chris and Ava, but Ava, if you want to kick things off.
Yeah, I'd actually kick that over to Erica. That might be a Path 2 question.
Actually, this is Stephanie. I'll jump in with this. Then Chris or Jody. So many people want to talk today, right? Chris or Jody, please jump in as well. So you will, if you are interested in just the Futures for Frontliners program, you'll want to follow, the application process and go through that way. And you do not have to register for a different workforce program or training program at Michigan Works. But that's not to say that once you start the Futures for Frontliners program, and as Chris Rishko, the director of Michigan Works, said, they could potentially help you with barrier removal and other items that may help enhance your successful completion of the Futures for Frontliners program. And at that point, you potentially may need to apply for and be deemed eligible and enrolled in a Michigan Works program to provide additional wraparound services. But if you're just interested in Futures for Frontliners, you just have to apply for Futures of Frontliners, and that does not automatically qualify you or get you registered into other Michigan Works programs. Those are two separate processes, but they certainly work together should you need wraparound or supportive services to help while you're participating in the Futures for Frontliners.
Thank you, Stephanie.
All right. And does the college get paid directly once folks are eligible? Is there some reporting the student is responsible for?
Ava, you want to talk about the annual requirement, like the students need to complete the FAFSA form on an annual basis, but outside of that, community colleges are talking directly to the Treasury to get reimbursement for those credits.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Perfect.
I just answered that. Okay.
All right. And is there
could I just make a comment? I'd just like to talk to some of the people that are out there, and maybe you did drop out of high school and you're working on your GED, as Mary was talking about. We have a number of people throughout our whole region that have done that, and maybe there were personal reasons why you dropped out, or maybe you weren't challenged very much. What we have found at Delta College is that, and maybe you didn't do very well in high school, but what we have found at Delta College, we have a number of adults that come back to take classes, and they now are serious about, I want to do something with my life, and I want to get into an area where I can make some more money and take care of my family, and I want to do something that is maybe more meaningful to me. So I just really want to send the message out there that, have some faith in yourself and believe in yourself, and know that this is a great opportunity for you to take advantage of, a great opportunity where you can get some financial assistance to maybe go after that dream that you've always dreamed about, maybe going to college. Because going to college, and there's a lot of resources that you've heard about today, from Mary at the Bay Aranac Intermediate School District, and from Chris Rishko from Michigan Works. And you've also heard, from employers that are willing to share information with you about careers that are out there, and there's all different kinds of careers. So I just want to encourage you to apply and think about it and give yourself a chance to pursue that dream of yours.
All right, and we are almost out of time, so I'm going to take one last question. This one will go to Ava. Ava, can you tell us the answer to this? Is there a limit of how many credit hours a scholarship will cover?
Great question. So you have to be enrolled at least half times, which is about 6 credits in a semester. But if you want to take, the maximum limit of courses, credit hours in a semester with the community college you're attending, that's great. There's no limit on the number you can take on our end in a semester. The community college might have like a maximum limit of 18 or 20. Jean, maybe you would know if you guys have a limit, but yeah, there's no limit on our end.
Thanks for that, Ava. Any last remarks as you close us out, Carrie?
I would just thank everyone for joining, and I want to special thank you to all of our speakers today, Dr. Jean Goodnow, Mary Murphy, Chris Rishko, and Colleen Markle. It was an incredible program, and thank you for taking time with us today. If you have additional questions, come Michigan.gov/Frontliners. If you didn't get your question answered during today's program, feel free to email us from the site and we will get back to you. All right, be well, stay safe, everyone, and let's get continuing on our pathway. All right, take care. Bye-bye.